Today I will talk about the movie 200 Degrees. In the movie, a man is trapped in a place where the temperature is constantly rising. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss our new videos. Ryan wakes up in an unfamiliar room, confused as to where he is. He begins to free himself from the ropes when he suddenly receives a call from a man named Bruce, who explains that he too is in a similar situation. Whoever arranged this wants money. Ryan tries to yell to Bruce, but Bruce can't hear him. It's getting hotter for Bruce, and Ryan hears his friend burn alive. At some point, a voice over a speaker announces that Ryan has 2 minutes to name his captor. If he succeeds, he will be released immediately. Ryan starts recalling the previous day. He had met with investors, persuading them to invest in various projects. As he goes through the names of his investors, he doesn't guess correctly. The temperature in the room begins to rise. Ryan tries to tamper with the heaters, but nothing works. The voice announces a new condition. The hostage has 2 hours to transfer $1 million of his own money to the captor. Ryan assures the voice that he doesn't have that kind of money and that he's just an ordinary family man, but the voice doesn't care. Ryan shows a photo of his wife Anna, then a photo of his son, but the voice already knows everything about his family, so his attempt to appeal to compassion fails. Ryan decides to call his brother, who works at the police station. John is surprised by the call, and Ryan describes his situation. John promises to send a SWAT team to the location of his phone. Ryan offers his captor a watch that belonged to his father, worth no more than $10,000, but the voice forces him to smash it. Ryan then calls his wife and asks her to transfer all the money from their account, the inheritance set aside for Anna, without explaining what's happening, only reassuring her that something irreversible will occur if she doesn't. After that, Ryan calls his mother, and she starts to scold him for not staying in touch and not showing interest in his sick father's health. In response, Ryan says that, unlike his brother, he's the one paying all the bills, but his mother retorts that unlike him, John at least visits, even after recently losing his own son. John then calls Ryan back and says that he and his team are already near the building. But soon he calls again to say that Ryan's phone signal was redirected. All they found was a note that read, "I have them." Desperate, Ryan calls his wife again, and she says that it's scary in the house and that she fears she might be kidnapped too. The call disconnects, and the heater turns on again in Ryan's room. Ryan is still over $900,000 short, so he decides to use his skills gained from working with wealthy clients. He calls a known investor, quickly making up a new technology for a hair transplant company, promising high returns. The investor trusts Ryan and agrees immediately. However, subsequent calls don't bring as much success. Many investors simply decline, though some agree. Ryan nearly raises the amount he needs, but his contact list runs out. The intense heat causes Ryan to lose consciousness. When he regains consciousness, his brother calls him again, saying they can't find him. Ryan loses all hope of escaping alive. However, soon after, one of the investors calls him back and decides to add more money to the project, allowing Ryan to reach the required amount. Yet the captor does not turn off the heater. The voice explains that the condition was for Ryan to transfer his own money, not someone else's. The voice reveals that he knows Ryan has money but is pretending otherwise. The voice reveals his hand. Ryan was ready to steal from others just to protect his hidden $4 million. The voice states that the rules have changed, and now he has just 5 minutes to transfer all $4 million from his own account. It turns out the captors not only have the details to withdraw money from the accounts but also the password, and Ryan just wanted to give him a chance to make amends. Ryan calls the bank and confirms the transfer. The heating turns off, and fresh air starts flowing into the room. However, no one is letting him out just yet. While Ryan was unconscious, he received water and a box, along with a note listing several names: his wife Anna, son Larry, and his parents, but the voice asks him to stop at the name Leslie and asks who she is. Ryan responds that he's no saint, hinting at his infidelity. The last name on the list is his brother John. Ryan receives a call from Anna, who says she's in a room with a small window and that it's very hot. Now the voice instructs Ryan to tell her the truth and begins asking leading questions, one of which is Ryan your only name? Ryan has to admit that he has several different aliases. The voice asks how he makes a living, and hearing his wife suffering, Ryan confesses that he deceives people for a living. In the box, he finds a finger with a ring and a gun, and then Leslie's voice appears. She's just as confused as Anna. Both women begin to hear each other, and Ryan is forced to repent and reveal that he has 2 wives, though he's only with Leslie for her money, while he truly loves Anna. He expresses remorse and apologizes for everything he's done. Just then, his brother calls and says that they've found him and will be there soon, but Ryan replies that none of that matters anymore. The last condition from the mysterious voice is for Ryan to pick up the gun and make a choice. Either shoot himself or both of his wives will die. Fully repentant, Ryan pulls the trigger, but nothing happens. He made the right choice, and the door opens. From around the corner, his brother John appears holding a gun, and Ryan realizes John couldn't have arrived this fast. He had orchestrated the entire thing. Ryan asks why he did all of this. It turns out John's son had died, and he needed money to prevent that from happening. John explains that he reached out to Ryan for help, but Ryan told him he had his own problems and didn't even ask why John needed the money. Ryan asks the obvious question, "Why didn't you just tell me what you needed the money for?" John replies that he wanted Ryan to figure it out himself. It turns out both women were in on the entire setup and helped stage this lesson to force Ryan to realize his mistakes and return the money. Furious, Ryan lashes out at everyone. Anna is willing to forgive his betrayal because he confessed and repented, but his other wife decides their story will end differently, shooting Anna. John in turn kills Leslie and suggests that he and Ryan cover up and forget everything that happened. However, Ryan thinks otherwise and reveals that he'd suspected who was behind the kidnapping from the phone call with Anna. He realized she knew about the kidnapping because she mentioned being afraid she'd be taken too, even though he hadn't told her about it. He then adds that he had a contingency plan in place and would return all the money within seconds. Finally, Ryan locks his brother in the room with both wives and turns the heat back on. He then walks out of the building, setting off to find a new wife. The film ends here,